Hey y'all.
Hey.
So I had to bring out Kiana for a heart-to-heart coffee date today. So a while ago we had a little conversation about some things and we were like, you know what? We gotta talk more about that.
Right.
So I remember the last time we were talking about expectations and the difference between expectations that God gives you, the expectations that you have for yourself, and then
Right.
expectations from other people.
Whew. Oh, that's a whole mouthful.
Yeah. And we started to talk about that, and I just wanted to get back into that conversation.
Right. It's such a profound conversation, just in that we set so many goals for ourselves, and nothing's wrong with it. Right. The Bible tells us to. If you think about Habakkuk, everybody always talks about Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain, all of that. And nothing is wrong with it, right? It's great to have a vision, have goals, have a plan. Here's where we get thrown off is that if our plans aren't exactly in the will of God, in the timing of God, in the season in which we're supposed to have it, if it doesn't happen like we think it should, that's where we get thrown off. That's where the problem occurs, because our plans need to ultimately, like the word said, line up with his, because his plans are what's actually going to prevail.
Yeah, no, that's something that I've been able to notice in my life the last couple of years is I can tell when I had plans for myself and then when it aligned with God. Like, you literally can tell. You can tell when things are going in the way that he wants it to. Because, baby, when you plan stuff for yourself, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, it's going to be great. And then it fails. Like, ultimately fails. And, sometimes you may have instances where things just don't work out. But you can really tell when something is not aligning with him. And then you can see the amazing miracles that are happening when you are aligning with him. Like, when I thought I was just doing things on my own, like, I'm going to teach and I'm in this career and things are going to be great. I'm not going to be an entrepreneur. And then when I finally started to do something that was aligning more with him, then all these things happen. You're in competitions. You're winning money. You're meeting people and getting connections. Like, people are connecting you to this person. And now you're like, oh, wow, God, I can see the alignment now.
Right. But then, too, now, I guess I've learned over my lifetime that sometimes, even when God is in it, there still may be some friction, some challenges, a little pushback. We can't always associate, because I know before, like, sometimes we think when things are just going extremely well, oh, God has got to be in this. And that might be the complete opposite. It might be going well for that moment, that particular little space of time, but that may not be where he wanted you to be or what he wanted you to be doing. But see, there's a passable, will of God. Like he might sometimes just let us do things. It's like, oh, okay, I'm trying to show you something different, but then you want to do this, so let me let you do this, and you see what the difference is. I'm going to show you something, because I have had some challenges with a few things. I'm like, God, are you sure you told me to do this? Are you sure you're in this? And he's like, yes, and keep going. He might not even say yes to me right then, but just wanted to see what I was going to do with that. Because when we do well with the small things, then he continues to give us more and more until we're able to handle it. I think where our disappointment sometimes come in there is like, if it didn't happen when we thought it should, we think that God is denying us of it, or we're not going to get it. But it's not really true. Some of the things, as I look back, some of the things that I asked God for, I wanted to happen in my life, if they actually had happened at that particular point in time, it might not have been a blessing for me. It might have actually been the opposite. It might have been a curse, because I might not have been able to actually sustain it and to cultivate it and to keep it. I might not have been, like, I thought maybe I was mature enough to handle it, or I thought I was in the right position to handle it, but then I might not have been. It is such a blessing for me now to be a mom and, wife, and gone through a lot of different things and challenges. My husband and I this year, thank God, have been married 8 years, and both of us have experienced things. And, I've had a failed relationship before, and didn't know what was going to come out. The happy, I thought that I should have been married and had kids and did all of this in my like mid-20s. That's what I thought. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. After failure and heartbreak and all that. And then when God said, I'm going to restore you, and he did. He restored me and he brought me my wonderful husband. Then we got married and I thought, well, I'm already like, God, okay, now these years, I'm already in my 30s. Am I going to, have a child? We're going to have a child. And so we weren't we weren't getting pregnant. And then when we did, I was losing babies. And I was like, okay, God, what is really going on here? The time that I thought was the optimal time for us to have a child and me to be a mom and do all these different things, that's not when it happened. It actually happened at a time where my life seemed to be, in the middle of falling apart. So that just shows you that God, the way that he does things is completely opposite sometimes from the way we think it should happen. I thought everything should have happened when I was peaceful and calm and I was in my element and I was teaching and I was a wife and I was doing all these things. I'm ready to be a mama. That's not what happened. He actually gave us our daughter while I was like in the process of having surgeries on my eyes because I couldn't see. I had lost my eyesight, which was very traumatic for me. And then I had to actually pause on having surgeries because I found out I was pregnant. I went through that pregnancy blind. And then I thought, okay, God, when I had everything I thought I needed, I wasn't sustaining the pregnancies. I wasn't keeping a baby. I wasn't getting pregnant. But now you give me a baby while I can't see. How am I going to take care of this? I had all these, the frantic, okay, God, that's what I was doing. And he gently calmed my spirit and said I was going to be all right. Now, I didn't know what that looked like, but here we go. Almost 4 years later, I can see. Do I still have an impairment? I do, but I can see. I can take care of my daughter. She is thriving, healthy, whole, and wonderful. On the other side of that, back over here on this side, I couldn't see that.
Right.
So that's in the middle of what I thought was chaotic and all topsy-turvy, but he made something beautiful out of it. So there's examples, I guess, on both sides of that. You know?
Because at the end of the day, our expectations are not his.
Right. And the way that things, we think that they need to play out and win aren't his. But one thing that I think has been such a huge consolation to me is remembering Romans 8:28. Just that, no matter what, all things, the things that we think are trash, problems, issues, whatever that's happened to us, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. That's us. All of us are called here for a purpose and a reason. And I think that's the only way I made it past some of the hurdles, because the ones that I mentioned, of course, like those aren't the only hurdles. Like those are, we probably could be here all day just talking about the different things that God has brought us over through and that we've triumphed over. But remembering that he uses it all and he's never going to allow us to go through something without doing something for us in it, like shaping us, molding us, teaching us. Like if there's some pruning, there's some shaping that happens in that. And ultimately what we go through is for someone else.
Yeah, no, that's a big one right there. Me and my soon-to-be husband, we're actually talking this morning. We're reading Acts right now, but we were talking about how you have to be able to push through obstacles and challenges for that person that needs that. Like there is somebody out there that may need to see the God on you, but if you do not push through the challenging times, then you won't get to that point where they can see that on you, or you. What if someone told you today that you pushing through and continuing to spread the word of God and show how God has worked in your life depends on somebody else's salvation, like that would make you think twice about whether I should push through this difficult time or not and continue to have faith in God. So I think that's really good.
Right. I'm reading in several different parts of the Bible right now because of plan I'm doing. But I'm not even sure. I'm trying to remember how I got on it. We're talking about the parable of the seeds and where the seeds fall, like the seeds falling on the stony ground and the grass, like some fell on good ground, some, all of the different, you know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing and don't have, all of it, but just where the seed fell. Some of the seed fell in good places. Some of it fell in a good place, but it wasn't deep enough. It wasn't rooted enough. So then it was plucked up when the flower grew, it was plucked up and taken away. And I guess the part of that I want to really reference is how to stay rooted and planted when you're going through something that's extremely difficult. Because that's hard. A lot of people do choose to turn and walk away. Like maybe God isn't there for them during that time. But I guess you have to make a firm decision that you know who God is. You know his character. You know that he is ultimately putting you in a position where you are the walking Bible. You are the Bible that some people will only ever, read your testimony. And that's the reason why some of the things are allowed, but they help shape us and mold us too while we're going through those things. No, I would have never. There's a whole list I've got that I like. I wish this right here, like, oh Lord, I probably, in my mind, just as a human being, having a human experience, I would like to take these things off the list. Let's just skip. Can we skip past this? But God said, no, you can't skip past it. Some of it was my choosing. Like I made that mess and he said, no, you're going to stay there. Like I'm going to deliver you from it. But you got to learn something while you're there so we don't repeat this again. Right. Or there were things that just are literally attached to my journey for the people on my journey. Hey, come on, somebody. They're attached to my journey, attached to your journey for the people that are on your journey, because you'll meet someone who may not pick up the Bible. They may not listen to a sermon, but they'll listen to you saying, you know what? I had a problem. I struggled with this. I did this. Let me tell you how it was rectified in my life, how it was solved in my life. And they may even be surprised when you say it's because of the love of Jesus Christ. That's how.
Right. Before we leave, I wanted to ask you this. When it comes to the expectations that you know that God has given you, say that God has given you an expectation or a vision, how do you continue to keep your eyes on that even when other people can't see that expectation or vision that God gave you?
Ooh, that is a question. That's a very good question. Personally, how I've done it is by continuing to put myself before him, because you can get discouraged very quickly when it does not seem like the pieces are lining up. Or if it doesn't seem like you have that support. Like everything's great when everyone's like, rah, 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 you can do it. But if they're not supporting you like that, or it's not quite that, anyone, if they're not seeing it, they're like, what are you talking about? I can't see that. What I tend to do is just continue to take back to God. I sit with him with what he said. And then I find anchor scriptures that allow me to link to what he said, because he's always, his word, he's always going to do that. Never returns to him void. So I attach that with what I believe I'm hearing him say. Right. And so I've got my scriptures. I've got the goals, dreams, vision that he said, and I sit with him with it. And I'll do that continuously until I refuel with myself. Like sometimes you got to encourage yourself. Think about David. I was like, poor David. He was always somewhere having to try to encourage himself. Because, he was going through a lot. We don't have to get into David's story. It's long. But if you think about it, he always did that. He was somewhere trying to encourage himself in the Lord, because somebody else might not have seen. They might have been after him. And they didn't see it. They didn't get it. They didn't understand it. Didn't understand him. Now, he wasn't perfect, but he was a man after God's own heart. So I just feel like if I am doing what, and I have experienced this, but if I feel like if I'm doing what God has told me to do, I'm going to keep taking steps, and he's going to show you with nods and winks and just like, oh, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. This is what I want you to be doing. Because at the end of the day, the only one who has to answer for anything that we say, do, or believe, or have on this earth is us with him. That's it. When you are of a certain age and you've passed the childhood stage where somebody else is leading you and making decisions for you, you have to know Jesus for yourself, have a personal relationship, and you're going to give your own account. So that's what grounds me in, okay, if this is what I believe he's telling me to do, then it doesn't matter who is saying otherwise. I've got to do it. The only one right now that I have to check in with about it is my husband, because he's the head of the household. But if I feel like God is saying something for me, Even if he doesn't see the vision right now, I tell him, guess what I tell him? You pray about it and see what the Lord tells you about it. Because I know if he telling me, he'll tell you.
Right.
And then we'll get up, but most of the time, I think most of the time we on one quarter, but there'll be a few things he like, I am the, God said, let's do it. God said, let's do it. And he is, I believe Jesus, and I'm realistic and practical. You want to go do this, and I don't see any funds for this. I don't see any this for this. So wait, and let's put a plan in order. And I am, God said it, go do it. God said it. And it's already done in my eyes. I don't know, whatever. I've gotten from here because he showed me the end. He's gonna do it. My husband's like, wait a minute. Okay, we still got 10 steps before we get over here till he's done it. But he's the only one that I need to do anything with it. And so now it would be nice if everyone is on board. That's in the circle, that's in the family, right? But if they're not, you keep on doing what God said to do. Keep bringing it back to him. And if he wants something changed, best believe him, you're his child. He knows how to tell you how to change it, how to fix it, how to rearrange it, how to put it together. He'll let you know.
That is so good too. And what's crazy is my future husband has told me that I'm in my David era. Like there are a lot of things that is in front of me that's gonna have to be knocked down like alive, and other people don't necessarily understand it or see it like I do. But I know God has shown it to me. Right. So what I've had to do personally is, there are certain things that I have learned that I can't take to certain people. And I know with the things that they may not understand, I have to just keep taking that to God and keep on believing and seeing what he has showed me. So I just take that work, I take all the things that he's having me do, and I just keep on bringing it to him. And I've learned that you have to set boundaries, and there are certain things that you won't be able to share with everybody because they just don't see the same thing that God has given you. And so that is...
And you know what? Oh, it's such an alignment. But let me tell you, you want to know why? Because they may not be where God is wanting them to be. And a lot of times if they see you persevering toward what God told you to do, then it actually shines a light on them saying, okay, God, I'm not giving you my yes today. I'm going to just, I'm going to sit back here on it because I don't really know if I want to do that. Or if they haven't even chosen to seek it out at all. I think I've heard like a lot of people talk about purpose, like they don't know, like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But I say this, every gift, talent, ability, all that's in you, right? God puts that in you. And it's cultivated over your lifetime in different areas and different seasons. There's not one specific purpose. Like people just say my purpose, like this is the only thing. No. You are called to be, I'm called to be a wife. I'm called to be a mother. I'm called to be a minister. I'm called to be a teacher. I'm called to be, there's a whole lot of different things. Right. But you need to know in which season you're supposed to be doing what. And you're right about that, not sharing with everyone. Because sometimes, unfortunately, for some people, I've heard, it's even certain family members or loved ones or close friends. There might be someone that they are super close with, but they cannot share it with them. Because if they do, they will actually zap your zeal and energy to do it and just totally just rain on your parade. Just where you might have been just fired up, like, God, you got in the closet. You came out with the glow of Moses on you, the praise of David, and you were ready to go. You were like Joshua and said, we can do this thing. Yeah, you know about Joshua and those 12 spies. Look, they came back. Only 2 of them had a good report. Everybody else saw the giants. They didn't see the victory. Right. So it's like, okay, whose report are you going to believe? What the Lord told you? Or the ones that are blind, right? Spiritually, to what the Lord is saying. Oh, this has been good.
It's been great. It has been so good. Look, I'm ready for the next coffee date. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and having a coffee date, a heart-to-heart coffee date with me, Kiana.
You're welcome.
We are still excited, looking forward to our first episode of our talk show, The Beat, with the rest of our co-hosts. So tell me where to find us at, Kiana.
Okay, now, you need to tell a friend to tell a friend. We are on Facebook and on YouTube, The Beat Talk Show. Y'all, we are so excited about what God is doing. We want you to be a part of the move as well. Come on and grow with us, one heartbeat at a time.
See you later.
Bye.